Okay, so before we start, I do know that Wolf made a lineups video not that long ago, but some lineups in here will be the same because he is who I got them from. But then there are also quite a few lineups that I have made myself and that are different to what he had in his video. This video will be chaptered, and I'll be starting with my better maps and more confident ones that I have more lineups on, and working down towards the ones that I don't like. The first few maps will also be sectioned into two. The first part where I'll show some basic lineups if you just want some basic stuff for the default plant spots, and then the second section for these maps will be more advanced lineups that are more situational, but if you want to learn them you can. So let's get started up. So on Ascent, we'll start with A with our basic lineups that I use. So I'll give one basic lineup for front gen and one for dice. For these, I like to stand in this corner, and pretty similar to what Wolf did, just aim at the tip of this, just go a little bit higher.
Placing swarm grenade.
That's for front gen. And at the tip of this spike.
Placing swarm grenade.
For dice.
Swarm grenade out. Swarm grenade out.
So these are the two basic lineups for A. And then if you do want one for wine, you can come into this corner and put the little line on the right of the utility bar in between these two pipes here and
placing swarm grenade.
That will land on top for dice. Now for some basic lineups for B site. You've got standing on the fish here. Doesn't really matter where, just on the edge if you can. And just aiming at this bottom tip for default.
Placing swarm grenade.
And a lot of the time I tend to have teammates that plan a little bit before default, like there, so then you can just aim at the
placing swarm grenade
if you need to, which will land a little bit closer.
Swarm grenade out.
And then for this best one around here, another one you would have already seen. Just come to this corner and just aim in
placing
the window.
Swarm grenade.
Which will land.
Swarm grenade out.
So that is the basic lineups for Ascent done. So now we'll move on to the more advanced ones. Starting with attack, obviously Ascent is my best map, and I have way too many lineups for this map. So we'll start with my ones for front gen. Obviously, I've already showed this lineup,
swarm grenade.
But then one that I don't use anymore, but I used to use sometimes, is you can come behind this box, crouch, and then just aim at that tip there.
Placing swarm grenade.
Which will also land front gen. And then I do also have one from cats, in case you need. You can just come against these boxes. And just above the middle of this box thing here.
Placing swarm grenade.
Throw to land front gen. Now, this lineup I used to use by throwing this one and then going here and then wrapping around cat to then keep holding from there, but it was cutting it pretty close. So I found a new lineup which I haven't actually been able to use yet, but if you come here and place the tip of your turret symbol in this window here, you can do a jumping insta throw,
placing swarm grenade,
which will land default, which not ever really going to use, but it's there just in case. And then on defense or on attack, I have actually got a clip with using it on attack. You can come back here, just stand in this corner, and this is a bit like that. Yep, you just aim above them
swarm grenade
and throw that, which will just land there. And then for A, obviously I've also got my ult combo, where like what I like to do is just to hold A, and if I hear them start pushing, I'll just close door to protect the ult and throw my lineups, run back here, and ult this one,
My ultimate is ready.
and then come here. I do like to throw one A
Placing
main
swarm grenade.
and
Placing
line,
swarm grenade.
which just to show you, the main one does end
Swarm grenade
perfectly
out.
outside the ult like this, and it just
Area
comes
clear.
this area here. And the wine one, obviously a normal lineup that everyone knows
Swarm grenade out.
to cover wine. Which so for these lineups, the A main one, you're aiming at the tip of this darker leaf on the tree,
Placing swarm grenade.
and then you're aiming in this gap for the wine one.
Placing swarm grenade.
So there are those
Swarm
two
grenade out.
lineups.
Swarm grenade out.
Now moving on to B. One lineup that I mostly use on defense if I'm playing A, and they go B, I'll rotate through here. Just come pretty much in line with this, and you'll see these two lines here. You just, come just around here, and move forward until you can't see them anymore. Just aim in the middle, and
Placing
jump
swarm
through.
grenade.
Hard to explain, but once you get it down, it's pretty easy, and that'll land
Swarm
defense,
grenade out.
which I have actually gotten a kill with it before on the person planting. If you want an easier one, you can just come to pizza and aim right there, which you would have seen from Wolf, where it goes to the where it changes colour. Aim there and jump.
Placing
through.
swarm grenade.
That will also land default.
Swarm grenade out.
That is really all the lineups that I've got for B, except I did find one earlier today for forever if the bomb's planted here. The same spot as the other lineups for default. Just come here and place the turret symbol just at tip of the turret symbol just below the antenna there, and just do a
Placing
jump
swarm
into
grenade.
throw. Which will end there.
Swarm grenade out.
Plant spot there. That's just in case you need it. That should be all of my lineups for Ascent. So I've just realised that I forgot to show my attacking lineups for Ascent, but they're pretty easy, so I'll just go over them now. For A, you can just come into this corner and
Placing swarm
aim at the
grenade.
tip of these two
Placing swarm
bolts
grenade.
to clear back
Swarm
of the
grenade
jet.
out. Swarm grenade out.
This one you can aim a little bit more to the left if you want to clear all of it. Now, for B, you can come against this wall in line with this bar here, then just aim at the middle
Placing
hole,
swarm grenade.
which will land stairs.
Swarm grenade
This is
out.
used most commonly to make this level. And then you can also come against the line, but against it this time, and aim just at the bottom of this pole here,
Placing swarm grenade.
which will land CT.
Swarm grenade out.
So that is it for Ascent. Okay, so now moving on to Pearl. Not necessarily a good Killjoy map, it's pretty bad, but just doing it next because I did the other day find quite a few more lineups for it, so still heavy lineup map for me. So it's actually better on attack than it is on defense right now, because defense kind of sucks with Killjoy. Anyway, just getting into our basic lineups. So all of these will just be for default. What I use more commonly is to come up against this longer bit of grass here and put the line in between the turret and the ult in this corner here.
Placing swarm grenade.
Through that.
Swarm grenade out.
Which just once more is up against the blade of grass here, and the line in between the turret and the ult into this corner here.
Placing swarm grenade.
And then, if it's easier for you, you've got that lineup that Wolf generally uses, which you stand in this corner and aim at like this line here on this pillar.
Placing swarm grenade.
Which will also land default.
Swarm grenade out.
So now for the basic lineups. On B, I'm going to show one for this plant spot and one for there as well. So now on B site, you can come into this corner, aim 6 tiles over, aim at the tile, and then
placing swarm
jumping
grenade.
Insta throw, which will land
swarm grenade out.
the plant spot. And now for this plant spot, you come into this corner and aim the feet of the turret up against the edge of the pillar. Like that.
Placing swarm
and
grenade.
Just give that one a throw. It'll land
swarm
here.
Grenade out.
So that is the basic lineups for Pearl done, and now we'll move on to the more advanced ones from other places on the map. So starting off, I'm just going to, before I show some post-plant lineups, I'm going to show a new lineup that I found that will perfectly clear back of sight when you're attacking. I've used the same spot that I use for my default lineup against this blade of grass, and I'm aiming. You'll be able to see what I'm aiming because I'm aiming it at the middle of the edge of this little square here. I'm using this little line here beside the ult at that bar there.
Placing swarm grenade.
Throw. This lands perfectly backside.
Swarm grenade out.
So that they are forced to push out. I've been using that one a lot lately when attacking on Pearl. Now, I've got some more lineups for here and here now, which I found the other day. Which you can come into this corner here, mid, and if you want, and you can throw just in the gap of these leaves here.
Placing swarm grenade.
If you want a lineup for the
swarm
little
grenade
cave
out.
plan, and the left and right click box that comes up when you have your molly out. If you aim that just in the top left corner of it into this corner here, and then just move slightly over.
Placing swarm grenade.
And give that one a throw. That will land for
Swarm
default.
grenade out.
And then as one final lineup, pawn, you can come here, aim the thing beside your ult, just above the little light here, right where my crosshair is now, and give that a
placing
jumping
swarm
throw,
grenade.
which will land
Swarm
on
grenade out.
as well. Try to throw it as late as you can into your jump, so at the peak of your jump, so that it will land best as possible, otherwise it will go slightly too far like I did just then. So what's better is to make sure you do it at the peak of your jump,
Placing swarm grenade.
like that, which should land a little bit better.
Swarm grenade out.
Now getting into the more advanced lineups for B. If you come into B link and into this corner, I can throw a lineup using this little wire here where it connects to the house, and you can see there I'm still lining up the middle where the line goes straight beside the ult there, just on that.
Placing swarm
And
grenade.
throw that. That is a really good lineup.
Swarm grenade out.
Plant spot. And then other than that, you can just come back here into this corner, go 1, 2, 3, and just up from the third gap
Placing
for
swarm grenade.
default, and then aiming this corner here. your line in between the turret and the ult
Placing swarm grenade.
for the long plant spot.
Swarm grenade
Plant
out.
spot.
Swarm
And
grenade
this
out.
again is on the default, which is a bit less consistent. Doesn't cover as much area, mainly for the real deep plan, but it is there just in case you need it. So now we'll move on to the next map. Now, I just recorded all of the lineups for Haven and then meant to stop it and realised that it wasn't recording. So let's try this again. So starting with our basic lineups for each site, you can come into this corner and just aim at the tip of this building here. This is a lineup that you would have seen a lot of times, most likely.
Placing
And
swarm
if you need to
grenade.
go more to the right, you can just aim under the
Placing
bit to the
swarm
right
grenade.
for default.
Swarm grenade out.
And
Swarm
just
grenade
select
out.
default. Now for B, not really worth playing lineups anyway, but in case you do want to, you can come into this corner and just aim in this gap here,
Placing
and
swarm
throw,
grenade.
which is a good lineup for the
Swarm
front
grenade
spot.
out.
And now for your basic lineups on C, if you come against this stick coming out of the wall and aim at this little triangle thing here,
Placing swarm grenade.
that will land
Swarm
default.
grenade out.
And if you come into this corner here and jump, make sure you jump up and then aim at the same gap.
Placing swarm grenade.
That's now a lineup for
Swarm grenade out.
when it's planted for long. Now, if we move on to the more advanced lineups we have for this map, which I really like using, and I use a lot on this map. For A, I use it on attack and defense. Come into this corner here, and you'll be able to see where this little light bulb is, this little gap here. Aim the line in between the turret and the ult on that, like right there.
Placing
And
swarm
give that one a
grenade.
throw. That will land
Swarm
default for
grenade
you,
out.
which can be used to stop the plant, and on attack as well to defend it. I then also have the ult combo for this side, ulting like normal in this corner,
Yeah.
which I'll ult in a second, and then aiming the line in between the alarm bot and the molly into this corner of the window. So you come up and ult,
Initiated. My ultimate is ready.
use the line in between the molly and the alarm bot in the corner of the window there,
Placing swarm grenade.
and throw that. For the
Swarm
molly.
grenade out.
Now for
Area's
B,
clear.
I want no more advanced lineups because it's just not worth it. But for C, I've got two from this corner. You see, you can count 1, 2 gaps right in between all these tiny little wooden things. And if you go to the second gap over and aim, you can see that there. That little pattern thing beside the ult. Just put that in that gap there.
Placing
doesn't
swarm
really
grenade.
matter. And throw that. That's the lineup.
Swarm grenade out.
Same kind of situations as the one for A. And then the ult combo, which I got from Wolf. Ult in this corner,
Initiated. My ultimate is ready.
run over here, and then just aim in this gap here
Placing swarm grenade.
to cover that corner there.
Swarm grenade out. Area's
So
clear.
that will be Haven done for now, and we'll move on to the next map. Okay, so now we have Bind, which is pretty much this map that's like in the middle for me. Don't have too many over-the-top lineups, but then it's also just still easy to play with that I get a lot of clips with. So starting with A, we have our basic lineup for default, coming into this corner and just aiming in the gap right there.
Placing swarm
Very
grenade.
basic lineup for default.
Swarm grenade out.
And now for B, you've got a very easy lineup. Once again, coming in against this wall at the rock, and then just aiming at the bottom of this cylinder here.
Placing swarm grenade.
Which will
Swarm
end.
grenade out.
So now moving into the other lineups that are slightly more advanced.
30 seconds left.
This one is for
Here.
triple, which is a very basic lineup as well, but majority of the time it's planted at the chalk. You can just come against these crates here and aim at the end of this antenna thing.
Placing swarm grenade.
Once again, another very basic lineup. You'll land to the
Swarm
left.
grenade out.
It will cover triple. If you want to cover more, you can easily just come back here and just aim a bit more to the right.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
And then for B, a lineup that I like using a lot because it's really good. You can come into this corner here, and I like to put the tip of my turret on this top left corner of the cylinder there, right there.
Placing
And
swarm
just throw
grenade.
that one.
Placing swarm grenade.
It will land like perfectly here on the middle, and we'll
Swarm
cover
grenade out.
default this plant spot, and it
Swarm
will
grenade out.
here.
Placing swarm grenade.
And fun fact about this
Swarm
lineup,
grenade
it
out.
will also cover inside the tree as well. Very good lineup that will cover a lot of spots. That right now is it for bind. Not very many lineups, but they do work very well. Oh wait, nope, just remembered. I've got my attacking lineups for this map, which I got from Cam. You come into this corner here, and then aim just in between this bit of rust here and the wire,
Placing swarm grenade.
and then aim in this gap here and just aim a
Placing
little bit
swarm
up.
grenade.
This will land backside and just outside the map,
Swarm grenade out.
clearing this copy here,
Swarm grenade out.
and then also backside. Okay, so now on Fracture, we're down to the last 3 maps, starting to get to the least popular ones. Fracture is a very good Killjoy map, except she just gets pretty hard countered by Breach, and his C ability to always destroying ult. But she can be a very good map here, but not many lineups to use. So I'll start with the basic ones for B. I've got, if you just come into this corner here, this one here, and just aim a little bit down.
Placing swarm grenade.
That will land on top. Like
Swarm
that.
grenade out.
Dice. And now, I do have a lineup for this, but it's a
Here.
bit more complicated, so I'll show it in the more advanced lineups if you want to see that one. But that's really if the simple lineups on this map. The other ones are pretty confusing, so we'll just move straight on to the more advanced ones. So we've got what I use for the safe
Here.
plant spot. So I come up against this crate here, which you can crouch to hide yourself until you need to pop up and throw your line up. You see where this line and this line connect there. Aim the middle of the side of the pop up on that corner
Placing swarm grenade.
and throw that.
Swarm grenade out.
Lands on default. And now other ones that I've got from Wolf are standing in this corner here and aiming the line in between the turret and the ult. Nope, the alarm. Molly
Placing
and the
swarm
alarm bot
grenade.
on top of that thing there and throwing that to
Swarm
land
grenade
there,
out.
which I'm honestly pretty sure I'm doing that wrong. I've just never used it. Or maybe it is the alarm bot on the turret.
Placing swarm grenade.
One or the other. Doesn't really matter. As you can see,
Swarm grenade
either
out.
one works. It's fine. For A, these are the exact same ones as Wolf shows. Because I didn't have any and I just got mine from him. Come into this corner here. And aim at the middle here. Wait a second. No, my bad. It's this corner here. Aim at the middle of these 3 tiles here.
Placing
Throw.
swarm grenade.
That will land up
Swarm
here.
grenade out.
And then put your molly symbol onto these dots here.
Placing swarm grenade.
That's still wrong.
Swarm grenade out.
And then put your molly symbol onto these dots here. Like that.
Placing swarm grenade.
Throw that one. And that will land.
Swarm grenade out.
And now you also got up here, just aiming and
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
This is atrocious. Aiming in this corner here.
Placing swarm
Jump and
grenade.
throw. It'll bounce off, and then
Swarm
default
grenade out.
is just if this is smoked off or walled off, just coming here and right-clicking your molly onto that bar there, which is very hidden. Just come
Swarm
up here.
swarm
They won't be
grenade
able to
out.
shoot it,
Swarm grenade
and
out.
you'll still hit.
Swarm grenade out.
That's what I use. But yeah, so that's it for Fracture. Now let's get on to the 2 bad Killjoy maps. One that I actually like more than the other. Now we have Breeze, widely known as a bad Killjoy map. I don't mind it too much. I find it pretty well on Breeze. Breeze, looking at my stats, Breeze is actually one of my best Killjoy maps in terms of KD. But you know, not very good because of how open it is. But for lineups, I'm not gonna split this into basic and advanced because they're all pretty much the same. You can come into this corner here, well up against this metal thing, and aim the dot that comes up at the top of the left click throw icon into this corner here. And do a
Placing
jump
swarm
throw.
grenade.
This is one that I got from Wolf, and that will land.
Swarm grenade out.
And one that I've got is same spot, coming and aiming the same dot into this corner here. So, yep, right there with that same thing.
Placing swarm
Throw.
grenade.
And it will land
Swarm grenade
right
out.
there. It's pretty easy to mess up, and if you do mess it up, you're going to
Here.
get there and it's not going to work, so not worth doing it too often, but it's there if you want it, and if you're good at it, which I'm not yet. Now for B site, you can come into this corner and aim the tip of the turret up against the silk here, which is just down from the end of the leaf there. And the tip of your turret there, and
Placing swarm
jump
grenade.
insta throw. That will land.
Swarm grenade out.
And to get this corner, obviously pretty easy. All you've got to do is then go to this leaf here and just go beside it there.
Placing swarm grenade.
Jumping insta throw. And now you've
Swarm
got
grenade out.
that spot. Alternatively, you could just come in down here, which I'm pretty sure I got from Wolf, but I've actually forgotten. Come in this corner, just aim anywhere around here on this line.
Placing
and
swarm
throw,
grenade.
And then you can just move across a bit. And
Placing
jump
swarm
and throw
grenade.
again. The first one will land on the
Swarm
side.
grenade out.
The second one
Swarm grenade out.
too far over, so you really don't have to go that far over for this one. But yeah, there are your lineups for Breeze, and now let's move on to the absolute worst map for Killjoy and worst. Okay, so now before we start, I'm going to make it very clear that I absolutely hate Icebox as a map in general. and therefore also just absolutely despise playing Killjoy on it. I know Wolf likes this map, so it's probably better to get tips from him, but so all the lineups that I show here will be from him anyway. So first, come up back here, come to this A here, and then just throw them all at the corner there.
Placing swarm grenade.
That is an easy one for the default plan.
Swarm grenade
There
out.
we go, let's get out of A side. I want to get off from B's as soon as I can. I mean, not even through Icebox. Now from B, come into this corner. Aim in the middle of this darker area here.
Placing swarm grenade.
If that's your lineup for
Swarm
default.
grenade out.
And then come into the same spot. And aim at the, I don't even know what it is, bottom of this area here. And
Placing
throw.
swarm grenade.
Is that it? I've got no clue. Should be. Which is a molly.
Swarm grenade out.
There you go, that's all I've got from Breeze. Icebox. Icebox absolutely sucks. Hate this map. I hope when they bring Split back, this is the one that goes.